Hi everybody, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new NECA Mirage TMNT single release Leonardo figure. So before we take a look at Leonardo, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, you get this damaged Utrum head, and this looks really good. This is just a reuse from the previous one we got, and the colors are just slightly darker on this one. It's a really subtle difference, but yeah, the colors are just a tiny bit darker on this new version. Up next, he comes with this resting mask tie, and I heated this up and I can't change it out at all. It does come with a flowing one that you can switch out, but yeah, this just won't budge. It's like it's glued down in there. You know, even after heating it up, it didn't want to come out, so I'm not going to force it. So I'm definitely going to have to leave it like this. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with 3 of these ninja stars. You can only fit 1 in each of his hands, though. I definitely wish we would have just got 2, since you can't actually use this 3rd one. Up next, he comes with his swords. And these look really good. I love the two-tone paint on the blades there. How it's white on the end and this light blue color on the back. That looks really good. As well as the black paint here for the wrappings. And it also has a subtle wash to it. That looks really good. He can hold the sword really well in his right hand. But in the left, it is really wobbly. You can see it doesn't really want to stay in there. And if you pose it around, it's just going to drop out. So that is weird. Of course, he has storage for the swords and the sheaths on his back there. And finally, he comes with my favorite accessories from this set, the bow and arrow. And the bow itself looks really good. I love the real string on it. The arrow looks good, but unfortunately, when I was trying to get the arrow into his fingers, it did snap off right here. So that does suck. It is extremely brittle plastic. So yeah, definitely be careful when you're posing this around. I was trying to get him holding it a little more accurately, but yeah, it ended up snapping off when I did that. But aside from that issue, I think this looks really good. I do wish that the string would have had a little bit more slack to it, that way he could pull it back just a little bit more. But since I have the 4-pack release of this, this is definitely how I'm going to leave this version of Leonardo posed. And I also wanted to say, at first, I thought the bow was reused from the foot soldier, but it's not. You can see this one is much larger. It has a different string. It has a different sculpt to the handle there. So yeah, this is actually new parts, and that makes me really happy. I believe this is the first time we're seeing it. I don't think we've seen this on any other figure. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure and compare him to the 4-pack version. So taking a look at Leonardo and comparing him to the 4-pack version, you can see that all the cell shading is in the exact same spots. All of the black painted lines came out really clean and look really good. But the big difference with this figure, other than the accessories, is that this one is a brighter and more vibrant color than this one. The 4-pack version is a little bit darker. The colors are just slightly more muted. And on this one, the colors are brighter and more vibrant. You can tell that the green is a little bit lighter, the red is more vibrant. And if you spin it around here, you can really tell with the shell. The shell on the old one is a lot darker, and the colors are a lot brighter on this new one. The shell is a lot lighter brown, and the wrappings are a brighter color. They still have the nice black painted lines on there and that bit of a wash. But yeah, the colors are brighter on that. On the 4-pack version, you got this really cool, subtle, dark green wash on the back. And you don't get any of that on this one. You still get the really nice texturing to the skin, but you don't get that dark green wash. You do get it on the front of the legs, though. I feel like it's really concentrated right here. Like, I feel like the line where it stops is a little too perfect. Whereas on this one, it was a lot more subtle on each leg. Another difference with this figure is I had to heat it up and get this joint unstuck right here. And you can see where this knee pad was glued up here to the thigh. I believe the knee pads are actually glued down to the knee joint right here. I believe they're glued or pegged and glued into the knee joint right here. And some excess glue got right there. You can see the white from the glue and the brown from where I got it unstuck. So I am going to have to try and sand that off and get that off of there. If you have the knee joint up like this, you won't notice it. But when you're posing the figure around, it is super noticeable, that big brown mark. I also think that this one has improved articulation, especially here in the hips. On the 4-pack version, the articulation was a little bit hindered. You couldn't really pose the hips around that much, and I think that NECA really improved this right here. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball-jointed head that can look up just a little bit. He can look down all the way and move his head side to side very nicely. If this hadn't been stuck, the mask tie should have had a swivel to it as well. He has shoulders that can move out that far. The right side does want to move out more than the left. He has a swivel at the bicep. Very squeaky joint. He has double jointed elbows that can bend in that far. Swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down here. He has a ball jointed waist that can move up and down very slightly, side to side very slightly. And here's where I think the articulation has been improved. He has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward very, very far, back very far, and a very nice thigh swivel. And comparing that to the previous version, he could only kick forward that far. The ball jointed hips could only move out that far. He could only move back that much. And the thigh swivel was decent. But yeah, you really couldn't move the thigh joints on this old one up and down or get him doing a complete split. So NECA really improved that on this new version. He has a swivel at the tail. I didn't even know that he had that. But yeah, the tail does swivel like that. He has double jointed knees that can move back that far. Ankles that can move down just a little bit, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the previous Leonardo figure from the 4-pack. Here he is next to Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello from the 4-pack. Here he is next to Splinter. And finally, here he is next to Battle Damage Shredder. So overall, I think NECA did a really good job on this single release. I will say that if you have the 4-pack, I don't think you necessarily need this one, because the only real difference is the collars and the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow is new, but other than that, if you have the 4-pack, then I think you can pass on this one. But I do think it's awesome that NECA is releasing all of the brothers in single packs, because that 4-pack was really, really hard to find, or at least it was for me at Target. And then they opened pre-orders up on the NECA store. I think that was only for 30 days. So yeah, the 4-pack has not been easy to come by. And these single-release turtles should be available everywhere. So I think that it's good for collectors that missed out on that 4-pack to finally get a chance at these turtles. And I actually like the collars on this better. And of course the bow and arrow. I think that looks really cool. The only real drawback that I have with this figure is that the arrow broke, but honestly that's a really minor complaint. It was probably from where I was trying to get him posed with it really cool. So yeah, if you have the 4-pack, I think you can skip this one, but if you missed out on that one, then this one is perfect for you. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.